Good morning,
Hey,
chat. Good morning,
good
Nova.
morning.
Happy Tuesday.
I
Good
think I read
morning,
this book like
Vicky. Thanks.
5 or 8 years, maybe even 10 years ago now. Jesus, it could even be 10.
This book came out in 2016, so it could have been 7 years ago.
7 or 8, yeah.
Yeah, time really do go by like that, though.
Doesn't it?
I think I was introduced to this book. Actually, the audio version of this book, not that long ago, maybe like 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago.
I love audiobooks.
I didn't know. Well, I didn't know what I was getting into. I think I was just like
You just like
maybe
the cover.
an auto played into it. No, I didn't know what was happening. And I was like, "Whoa, this is dope." And then it's been brought up several times. I'm like, "You know what? Let's go over it."
Yeah, he
Have
has
you
a new
actually
one out now too.
a new book or a
Yeah.
new
No, it's
what's
a
it
new
called?
book. Kind of what is it? It's got like a blue cover or something. I think if you just type his name in, it'll pop up, but it's kind of like Stop Giving a Fuck, but about something different or I forget.
Everything is plus subtle
Everything
art.
is
Let me look.
fucked, yeah.
Um, I can't get the
Everything is
picture.
fucked.
Everything is fucked. Yeah, there you go.
I think he sold a lot of books
A
just on
book about
hearing
hope.
the title.
There's another one called Unfuck Yourself. Get out of your own head and into your own life. Oh wait, that's Gary John Bishop. That's not the same guy.
Did you read the book yet, or are you just getting into it?
I'm just getting into it. I only heard it read to me. I don't even know if I made it to the end. The audio book is like 6 hours or the fast version of it. So,
Yes. I think I emailed
um,
you a copy of the author giving like a short summary of his whole book.
I did see that and I heard you say short summary and I was like, "Dope." And I clicked it. I'm like, 40 fucking minutes ain't a short summary.
If you go into it, I think he breaks it up into each individual chapter. So if you
It's
just
still
want to like,
not short. It's not short. I was like, "Okay, well, maybe we could do this when we're done because I
yeah,
mean, you might as well
we'll
read just
make
the
our
fucking
opinions,
book."
and then we'll hear what he has to say about his own book. That's how I used to do my
Yeah.
book reports.
Well, you know what we could do first is we'll start with this year 2023. They came out with a movie in September for this book. It says
Oh
that
yeah,
it is narrated by Mark Manson, the author. But let's watch this. Tell me if this is too loud. I only have one headphone in and it's like maxing out, so it sounds trash on my end. But all right, so that's that.
yeah. So this guy was just basically like a life loser, and he kind of learned all this stuff the hard way.
Is that his actual story?
I think.
Is he going to
Well, I
tell
don't
us
know
that?
it officially, but I think that's kind of what
Oh,
he's going through. Like he was kind of like a real life, like not a popular guy, kind of a loser, and had to work through stuff and figure shit out. And hey, I should write this down.
yeah, like he's just honest because I don't know about being an actual loser. Maybe he was.
Well,
I
he
don't
did a
know.
lot of. He traveled a lot, went to all these different countries, and I think he got into like Buddhism a little bit, which kind of led him to this whole genre of you got to stop caring, man.
You gotta stop misunderstanding what happiness is, I think is the crux of all of this. People think happiness is the absence of suffering, and that
Right.
ain't it. Hold on,
No.
before we get into that, let me go over to Twitter really quick because there was some shit. I probably should have played that video last. But first of all, there's some things I would like to show my chat.
Hey, beautiful. Hey, cool frog. Good morning.
Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, cool frog. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad you're here because I want to show you this.
You were late, Vicky. Already got the medal for today.
Yeah, she overachiever.
I saw that this morning too. Or did you?
Watch.
Did I send it
It's
to
Twitter.
you?
Yeah. This is
On
like
the
my
Zoomies.
puppy. This is how my puppy behaves. So fucking cute.
Yeah, they call it Zoomies.
This is not zoomies, is it?
Yeah, I think that's what
I
they
thought
call
the
animal
zoomies is when they
Zoomies.
tuck their ass and just can't get fast enough around the house.
No, I think it's when they just act like this.
I don't want to have to Google that.
The bear
This is
almost looks like.
adorable.
Remember the movie Ted?
Yeah.
It looks like Ted when he stands up.
I could watch this loop forever. It's so
Did you
cute. I
see the
want to
one
play
I
with him.
think I was on Twitter of the cat slapping the seal? And there's actually
Yeah, I'm not a
audio
big
to it.
fan of cats or seals. But I want to show you this one.
You can hear the cat slap. This looks wintry. What do we have here?
This is a woman who doesn't give a fuck. She's done trying and she's read only this chapter.
How do you know
Watch.
it's a
Well,
woman?
I don't know. I don't know if this. Well, you guys tell me what this is.
Okay, let me evaluate. Oh,
Mm.
nope. That was bad. Oh, she's not
It's Karen
stopping.
Reed.
Where? What? Where's she? Where's she
Hold
going?
on. Did this guy always have to leave in this little car? Or is he like, fuck, I gotta go rest. I'm leaving.
I'd be recording right now. I'd find a safe place behind a pillar because this is weird.
Okay, I've seen this video 10 times. There is a person in this car watching all of this. I don't know why she doesn't save herself and move her damn car. Well, she
I'd
spoiler
run.
alert, she's not gonna get hit. But there is a human watching all of this happening right now.
Like, logically, what is this person attempting to do? Like,
I
oh, look,
don't
they saved your
know.
life. Oh, no,
Yeah,
there's still an invisible car there.
How do I get this music to
Don't
stop?
do drugs, kids. Oh,
Which one
no.
of these is the
A
damn
van pulled in
volume?
her safe space.
Here we go. That guy knew.
Is she trying to roll her odometer?
Is this a methadone clinic?
Well, she already hit the red car and didn't even get out to check it.
I just can't.
It's got to be
figure out
Canada.
What? See the lady get out of her car? She was there the whole time. She's like, "You want to talk about it?" I saw the whole shit.
Like, she hit that
Oh
red
wait,
car
she
hard
didn't.
enough.
This lady came from over here. I thought she always got out of this car. Huh, I should
Everyone's
have
like,
watched it. I left.
there's a crowd now. Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
I've never
And then
seen
last
that.
but not least, today is boating day in Colorado.
Oh,
This is Forest Mommy. Do you know the guy Paul Sibling Revelry? You see him here a
yes. I
lot.
think I retweeted this morning.
You did?
Yes.
Well, aren't you an overachiever? I'm a little behind. Anyways, if you're in Colorado and you're a voting person, go do it. Go vote for Miss Jessica. I don't, obviously Libertarian Party, you can see it here, but you might as well. Do the world a favor. And she pretty, so.
What do you think about strategic voting versus voting your conscience?
Strategic voting, meaning like party line type shit?
So, like, here in Canada, we have like pretty much 3, maybe 4 parties. Could be 10 parties. Who even knows? But it's usually just the Liberals and the Conservatives, so red and blue. But there's a third party that the Conservatives want to vote for, the PPC. They're like the Libertarian Party. But people don't want to vote for the Libertarian Party because it splits the right-wing vote in half. So then the Liberals will win for sure. So you either have to vote with the Conservative Party against your heart to make sure the enemy doesn't get reelected, Trudeau, or you vote PPC and vote your heart. Like, it's strategic. I don't know.
I don't give a fuck what everybody else is doing. I don't care if it loses every type of thing. I'm going to vote for what I believe in.
Right. So you don't strategic vote. Yes. I don't
Which
either.
probably, yeah.
I could fuck shit up down the road, but I sleep better.
Good morning. Inappropriate Listed has made it.
Hey, good morning.
No, she's not. No, she's not. I don't know what that means. So this is what we're going to get into today. The subtle art of not giving a fuck. We'll do chapter 1. It's 19 pages. I am fighting off a headache, so I'm not going to turn my camera on because I don't give up. This is chapter 1 is don't try. Let me tell you what all the chapters are called. Chapter 1, don't try. 2, happiness is a problem. You are not special. The value of suffering. You are always choosing. You're wrong about everything. Failure is the way forward. The importance of saying no, and then you die. So, you're believe it or not, you're going to feel better when this is over.
Yes. Don't worry about dying yet. Wait till we get to that chapter.
This says your favorite sister told you about this book years ago. Is that where I learned about this?
Oh,
I
rubbing it in a little bit, I think.
May I suggest a pot needle for the headache? Yeah, I did try pot needle and I tried breakfast and I'm on the caffeine juice. So
I always find the pot needle made my headaches worse.
Worse
for me, anyway.
No.
But here's a trip. They used to give Queen Elizabeth marijuana for her menstrual cramps back in the day.
Really? Did she use a bong?
I don't know if she smoked a joint or how she did it, but I remember I found it in one of my books that was like a history book, and I showed my grandmother because she was right into the royals, and she's like, "Really?" And that's when I told you she wanted to try it, but her doctor wouldn't let her.
I don't remember. Well, Queen Elizabeth, that's our she did. She gone.
Hey, she lived a long time if she was doing pot. Was she like 90s, 93, 8, something
She
like
was,
that?
I don't know. She's the one that just died, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's start this. Chapter 1, don't try. Pretty sure that is Queen Victoria who ate pot brownies. I believe Vicky. Vicky is she got a lot of weird knowledge in her brain, and it's usually about old shit like this.
I'll take it over my royal knowledge. I just knew
Uh-oh,
there
she
was
said
a
no.
queen, and those are the only two I know.
Tell him, Vicky.
There was a black and white picture of her, if that helps.
Not the last queen? Oh. Who was the last queen?
Queen Elizabeth.
Are you sure?
Yes, she's on my nickel.
Oh yeah, you fucking used to have to salute her or whatever.
I haven't seen any
Okay.
coins with the king's head on it yet. The new king.
Oh, when do they have to do that? Did they
They
start it right
already
away?
call them, so like in our courts, we refer to as like Your Majesty's court. Now it's the king's court. So when the crown brings a charge against you instead of the state, it's called the crown. And it's Her Majesty's court brings charges against divinity. So now it's the king's court brings charges against divinity because we're still
Oh,
part
that
of
sounds
the, I don't know, what do you call it? The colonies, but we're independent, but still loyal. It's fucked up.
Yeah. Whoa, the king. So they have to change all their letterheads and everything.
Everything, all the courts, every court document has to be retitled
Thank
and
God she
rechanged,
was the queen for so long, so it
right?
they didn't have to mess with
And
it
this
for a long
fucker's gonna
time.
die real soon, so I don't know who's
Yeah, but
next.
it goes to a man next because it's his son.
Yeah, William, I think, or
Yeah.
Harry. I think Harry's
William,
younger.
the older one. Yeah.
Yeah, the bald guy that looks like a penis. That's he's.
Whoa, that's just you and your brain wanting to see
Have you
peen.
seen him? Bring a picture of old penis head up.
No.
I think people
No.
tell me if I'm wrong, Vicky, but would you prefer Harry over William?
The ginger? He's a
William, she
fucking.
says. Ooh.
Well, she didn't answer you that fast. There's a lag. She's saying William will be the next king.
Oh.
Not Queen Vicky. Obviously, she ate pot brownies. Not
I
wait.
think Harry. I think I like Harry more. I don't know why. I know very little about him.
I'll take William, she said, like a buffet. I'll take a little William. Harry, you could
But
stay
he
there.
got no hair. It's embarrassing. He looks like
Irrelevant. He's taller and he's going to be king. Hey, Atlas Pass. Good to see you. Okay, we are just about to get started on
Is Harry gonna try and Game of Thrones William to get full power?
Game of Thrones. So here's the thing: Harry don't get to do shit. If William gets dead, his baby gets to be the king, and you just have a baby king that you're sucking the dick of, and that's weird.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, but what if the baby died in the car with William?
Damn, Harry's fucked up.
Right. See, it's crazy though. If you look into like the old history from back then, that's how the royal families, like the French and the English, the Scottish, used to fucking murder each other behind each other's backs and marry. Like it was crazy. That's where the whole Game of Thrones TV show is really loosely based on like the British history. They just changed the names in the houses and stuff, but the stories of the backstabbing and the selling daughters and all that was all true.
Yeah, sounds gay. That's why I don't watch it. Okay, chapter 1, don't try. You guys ready for this? Harry would have to murder a lot of people to be king. I mean,
My total knowledge of the royal family comes from the movie King Ralph, just so you guys know.
Imagine our shock. Let me put up my disclaimer real quick in case you say.
How did that movie go over in Britain? Did you guys like King Ralph? Does anyone even remember the movie King Ralph? I know sibling rivalry.
No.
I think I do.
Well, he's not here, so we'll talk to him when he gets here.
I had faith in that they will remember. Do you remember it?
I have no idea what you're talking about now.
You don't remember movie King Ralph? Oh my god.
No, I just live real life and I don't give a fuck about movies a lot. Anyways, even if I saw it, I would have forgot it minutes after it was over. I know myself.
No, it's good. It's hilarious.
Is it funny? So I don't like satire type movies.
No, it's funny. It's good. Who was the guy in the TV show Roseanne? John Goodman.
I like him.
Back when he was like super popular. And the whole royal family died. And the only one left in the bloodline was this American New York King Ralph guy.
That sounds
So I had to
awful.
take him to Britain and teach him how to be royal and kind of
Wait, it
fucking
does
calm.
sound kind of funny.
It's hilarious. It's really good. I think it was like 88, 89-ish.
Beautifully doesn't remember it, and
Yeah,
Vicky
Vicky
says
remembers.
it's
It's an old
old.
movie.
I don't really remember why we're talking about it. Do you?
Well, we were talking about the king, but back to the book.
Hold on, I got a message on my actual IRL. I see it. The world. The world.
Do you remember the movie, Vicky? Did you like it? Did you find it funny? I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I think it's still
Well,
funny today.
Beautifully likes this weird kung fu movie. What's that kung fu movie you like, Beautifully? It is so fucking weird. So they might like this
Kill Bill.
stuff. No, it's like something about kung fu. I think it says that in the title.
Speaking of kung fu, I just watched a. All right, you ready for this, Divinity? Don't hold it against me, but I watched an anime series the other day.
Oh, what was it?
It was fucked up. So it was a Japanese samurai. There's so much. I don't know how to take this because it's like cultural appropriation mixed with like mixed with like stupidity. So it's a Japanese samurai who is really a girl but pretends to be a boy, but she's blue-eyed in Japan, born in Japan, and her whole thing is she's gonna kill the emperor of Japan to make up for being a rape baby. But it's Japanese anime at the same time.
That sounds awful.
It's fucked. I'm like, I wonder how Japanese people feel that their hero for a Japanese samurai is a little white girl pretending to be a boy. It was called Blue-Eyed Samurai, I think it was called. What movie? Am I getting shushed over?
I love that movie. So shush, I'm not sure, but Kung Fu Hustle, that's the one that Beautifully likes. So if that other movie about whatever you were talking about a second ago is anything weird,
Oh, the Blue-Eyed Samurai, that was just a TV show on Netflix. But Kung Fu something. What
I have
did
no
you just
idea where
call
we're
it?
at. I have no idea what we're talking about anymore. We're talking about dumb shit. Let's get into this book because I'm trying to not give a fuck about what you're saying. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, Chapter 1, Don't Try. And I have this you can find this book all day long for free on the internet if you don't feel like waiting after this to get into it. Okay, don't try. Charles Bukowski was an alcoholic, a womanizer, a chronic gambler, a lout, a cheapskate, a deadbeat, and on his worst days, a poet. He's probably the last person on earth you would ever look to for life advice or expect to see in any sort of self-help book, which is why he's the perfect place to start. Bukowski wanted to be a writer, but for decades his work was rejected by almost every magazine, newspaper, journal, agent, and publisher he submitted to. His work was horrible, they said, crude, disgusting, depraved, and as the stacks of rejection slips piled up, the weight of his failures pushed him into an alcoholic-fueled depression that would follow him for most of his life. Bukowski had a day job as a letter filer at the post office. He got paid shit money and spent most of it on booze. He gambled away the rest at the racetrack. At night, he would drink alone and sometimes hammer out poetry on his beat-up old typewriter. Often, he'd wake up on the floor, having passed out the night before. 30 years went by like this, most of it a meaningless blur of alcohol, drugs, gambling, and prostitutes. Then, when Bukowski was 50, after a lifetime of struggle and self-loathing, an editor at a small independent publishing house took a strange interest in him. The editor couldn't offer Bukowski much money or much promise of sales, but he had a weird affection for the drunk loser, so he decided to take a chance on him. It was the first real shot Bukowski had ever gotten, and he realized probably the only one he would ever get. Bukowski wrote back to the editor, quote, "I have one of two choices. Stay in the post office and go crazy, or stay out here and play at writer and starve. I have decided to starve." Upon signing the contract, Bukowski wrote his first novel in 3 weeks. It was called simply Post Office. In the dedication, he wrote, "Dedicated to nobody." Bukowski would make it as a novelist and poet. He would go on and publish 6 novels and hundreds of poems, selling over 2 million copies of his book. His popularity defied everyone's expectations, particularly his own. Stories like Bukowski's are the bread and butter of our cultural narrative. Bukowski's life embodies the American dream. A man fights for what he wants, never gives up, and eventually achieves his wildest dreams. It's practically a movie waiting to happen. We all look at stories like Bukowski's and say, see, he never gave up. He never stopped trying. He always believed in himself. He persisted against all the odds and made something of himself. It isn't strange that on Bukowski's tombstone, the epitaph reads, "Don't try." See, despite the book sales and the fame, Bukowski was a loser. He knew it, and his success stemmed not from some determination to be a winner, but from the fact that he knew he was a loser, accepted it, and then wrote honestly about it. He never tried to be anything other than what he was. The genius in Bukowski's work was not in overcoming unbelievable odds or developing himself into a shiny literary light. It was the opposite. It was his simple ability to be completely unflinchingly honest with himself, especially the worst parts of himself, to share his failings without hesitation or doubt. This is the real story of Bukowski's success, his comfort with himself as a failure. Bukowski didn't give a fuck about success. Even after his fame, he still showed up to poetry readings, hammered and verbally abused people in his audience. He still exposed himself in public and tried to sleep with every woman he could find. Fame and success didn't make him a better person, nor was it by becoming a better person that he became successful and famous. Self-improvement and success often occur together, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are the same thing. Our culture today is obsessively focused on unrealistic positive expectations. Be happier, be healthier, be the best, better than the rest. Be smarter, faster, richer, sexier, more popular, more productive, more envied, and more admired. Be perfect and amazing and crap out 12-karat gold nuggets before breakfast each morning while kissing your selfie-ready spouse and 2.5 kids goodbye. Then fly your helicopter to your wonderfully fulfilling job where you spend your days doing incredibly meaningful work that's likely to save the planet one day. But when you
Seems
stop
true.
and really think about it, conventional life advice, all the positive and happy self-help stuff we hear all the time, is actually fixating on what you lack. It lasers in on what you perceive your personal shortcomings and failures to already be, and then emphasizes them for you. You learn about the best ways to make money because you don't feel like you have enough money already. You stand in front of the mirror and repeat affirmations saying that you're beautiful because you feel as though you're not beautiful already. You follow dating advice and relationship advice because you feel you're unloved already. You try goofy visualization exercises about being more successful because you feel as though you aren't successful enough already. Ironically, this fixation on the positive and what's better, what's superior, only serves to remind us over and over again of what we are not, of what we lack, of what we should have been, but we failed to be. After all, no truly happy person feels the need to stand in front of a mirror and recite that she's happy. She just is. There is a saying in Texas, the smallest dog barks the loudest. A confident man doesn't feel a need to prove that he's confident. A rich woman doesn't feel a need to convince anybody that she's rich. Either you are or you are not. And if you're dreaming of something all the time, then you're reinforcing the same unconscious reality over and over, that you are not that. Everyone and their TV commercial wants you to believe that the key to a good life is a nicer job, a more rugged car, or a prettier girlfriend, or a hot tub with an inflatable pool for the kids. The world is constantly telling you that the path to a better life is more, more, more. Buy more, own more, make more, fuck more, be more. You are constantly bombarded with messages to give a fuck about everything all the time. Give a fuck about a new TV. Give a fuck about having a better vacation than your coworkers. Give a fuck about buying the new lawn ornament. Give a fuck about having the right kind of selfie stick. Why? My guess, because giving a fuck about more stuff is good for business. And while there's nothing wrong with good business, the problem is that giving too many fucks is bad for your mental health. It causes you to become overly attached to superficial and fake, to dedicate your life to chasing a mirage of happiness and satisfaction. The key to a good life is not giving a fuck about more. It's giving a fuck about less, giving a fuck about only what is true and immediate and important. Before that is, we're kind of at a break in this chapter. That's Bukowski's story, and we will get into the positive or the feedback loop next. I just want to take a little pause. How do you feel about this?
I think that's kind of what makes great comedians great, is the fact they can take their embarrassing self stories and just put it out there for everyone to laugh at. And they just don't give a fuck that they're embarrassing themselves, but everyone enjoys it and everyone's having a laugh and everyone's happier at the end of the night.
I don't think they're embarrassing themselves.
not all comedians. I mean, like the really good ones will tell like weird, embarrassing stories to get the audience to like in the mood to get going. You know what I mean? They'll use their own humiliation.
Self-deprecating.
Kind of, but they're not deprecating themselves. They're just sharing a story that maybe everybody shares but doesn't talk about. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Some comedians will talk about stuff like masturbation or something back in the day when it was taboo to talk about that. And like, yeah, I do it and I get Cheetos and whatever. They'll just take it their whole comedic story. And other people are like, yeah, I kind of do that myself, ha ha ha, but they don't admit it. But the comedian is using the I don't care what you guys think about me. I'm trying to make you laugh.
Yeah, I think they're doing they don't give a fuck part, but I think in this chapter, I think they're saying like don't try, like, be you. Like, a lot of I guess we'll use your comedian example. A lot of stand-up comics might go out and do, a set, a perfect set, like standardly, like textbook perfect. And then another guy will come out like Joey Diaz and not do at all the perfect set, but he's going to make everyone laugh for 30 minutes
Because he's
doing
just being
him.
himself on stage.
Exactly. He doesn't give a fuck about the perfect set. He doesn't give a fuck about what your comedians usually say or how they said it or the setup. He comes out and he's himself every single time. And
Right.
I enjoy it a lot. But I think that's kind of what it is. It's like you could try to be perfect or you could try to be you. You're going to be perfect at being you.
Yes. And I think that's and everything. I think it's your jobs, your everything. I think people need to, just be yourself. Stop worrying about what the other person's going to think about you and just say what you fucking think.
I don't know what chat's talking about. Prettier girlfriend, you say? Yeah, you want an ugly girlfriend. She's less likely to cheat on you. Well, ugly bitches cheat for the record.
That's why I said less likely.
Usually said wife. Oh no, I don't need a prettier wife. We're talking about girlfriends.
Good point, sir. Good point.
You're going to upgrade the ones you have. I guess we'll see. I think they get married. Chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know a guy called Sibling. Revelry. He can marry y'all if you need a second wife or a new wife or an upgrade or whatever.
Yeah, the Rev.
Okay, let's get back to this, the feedback loop from hell. There's an insidious quirk into your brain that, if you let it, can drive you absolutely batty. Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You get anxious about confronting someone in your life. That anxiety cripples you, and you start wondering why you're so anxious. Now you're becoming anxious about being anxious. Oh no, double anxious. Now you're anxious about your anxiety, which is causing more anxiety. Quick, where's the whiskey? Or let's say you have an anger problem. You get pissed off at the stupidest, most insane stuff, and you have no idea why. And the fact that you get pissed off so easily starts to piss you off even more. And then in your petty rage, you realize that being angry all the time makes you a shallow and mean person. And you hate this. You hate it so much that you get angry at yourself. Now look at you. You're angry at yourself, getting angry about being angry. Fuck you all. Here, have a fist.
Sounds like I've had the conversation.
Or you're so worried about doing the right thing all the time that you become worried about how much you're worrying, or you feel so guilty for every mistake you make that you begin to feel guilty about how guilty you're feeling, or you get sad and alone so often that it makes you feel even more sad and alone just thinking about it. Welcome to the feedback loop from hell. Chances are you've engaged in it more than a few times. Maybe
Oh,
you're
yeah.
engaging in it right now. God, I do the feedback loop all the time. I'm such a loser for doing it. I should stop. Oh my God, I feel like such a loser for calling myself a loser. Stop calling myself a loser. Oh, fuck, I'm doing it again. See, I'm a loser. Yikes. Calm down, amigo. Believe it or not, this is part of the beauty of being human. Very few animals on Earth have the ability to think cogent. Is that how you say
Cogent.
this?
Yep.
Cogent thoughts to begin with, but we humans have the luxury of being able to have thoughts about our thoughts. So I can think about watching Miley Cyrus videos on YouTube and then immediately think about what a sicko I am for wanting to watch Miley Cyrus videos on YouTube. Ah, the miracle of consciousness. Now, here's the problem. Our society today, through the wonders of consumer culture and hey, look my life is cooler than yours social media has bred a whole generation of people who believe that having these negative experiences, anxiety, fear, guilt, etc., is totally not okay. I mean, if you look at your Facebook feed, everybody there is having a fucking grand old time. Look, 8 people got married this week, and some 16-year-old on TV got a Ferrari for her birthday. And another kid just got just made $2 billion investing and inventing an app that automatically delivers more toilet paper when you run out. Meanwhile, you're stuck at home flossing your cat, and you can't help but think your life sucks even more than you thought. The feedback loop from hell has become a borderline epidemic, making many of us overly stressed, overly neurotic, and overly self-loathing. Back in Grandpa's day, he would feel like shit and think to himself, gee whiz, I sure do feel like a cow turd today. But hey, I guess that's just life. Back to shoveling hay. But now, if you feel like shit for even 5 minutes, you're bombarded with 350 images of people totally happy and having amazing fucking lives, and it's impossible to not feel like there's something wrong with you. It's that last part that gets us into trouble. We feel bad about feeling bad. We feel guilty for feeling guilty. We get angry about getting angry, and we get anxious about feeling anxious. What is wrong with me? This is why not giving a fuck is so key. This is why it's going to save the world. And it's going to save it by accepting that the world is totally fucked, and that's all right, because it's always been that way and it always will be. By not giving a fuck that you feel bad, you short circuit the feedback loop from hell. You say to yourself, I feel like shit, but who gives a fuck? And then, as if sprinkled by magic fuck giving fairy dust, you stop hating yourself for feeling so bad. George Orwell said that to see what's in front of one's own nose requires a constant struggle. Well, the solution to our stress and anxiety is right there in front of our noses, and we're too busy watching porn and advertisements for ab machines that don't work, wondering why we're not banging a hot blonde with a rockin' six-pack to notice. We joke online about first world problems, but we really have become victims of our own success. Stress-related health issues, anxiety disorders, and cases of depression have skyrocketed over the past 30 years, despite the fact that everyone has a flat screen TV and can have their groceries delivered. Our crisis is no longer material, it's existential, it's spiritual. We have so much fucking stuff and so many opportunities that we don't even know what to give a fuck about anymore. Yes, the illusion of choice, the choice overload is an issue. Because there's an infinite amount of things we can now see or know, there are also an infinite number of ways we can discover that we don't measure up, that we're not good enough, that things aren't as great as they could be. And this rips us apart inside. Because here's the thing that's wrong with all of the how to be happy shit that's been shared 8 million times on Facebook in the past few years. Here's what nobody realizes about all of this crap. The desire for more positive experience is itself a negative experience. And paradoxically, the acceptance of one's negative experience is itself a positive experience. You should read it again. Hey, Darren, it's good to see you. Porn, what's that? I do love have groceries delivered. I hate going to this. Yeah, when it said grocery delivered, I'm like, damn, this was written in 2016. He's a future teller.
Hey, Darren Moose.
Good to see you. I'm waiting for my groceries to be delivered. See, we all had the best life. Okay, so this is the here's what nobody realizes. The desire for more positive experience in itself is itself a negative experience. Paradoxically, the acceptance of one's negative experience is itself a positive experience.
You can't be happy all the time, otherwise you have no measure of what happy is. So you have to be like below happy normally most of the time to experience happy and then come back to normal. And then you
What?
experience bad. Yeah.
I don't know what? Is that what you get from this?
Yes.
Wow.
Because it's think if you were always happy every day and something that made you happy occurred, you wouldn't get more happy. You would just be blah. So you become numb
Yeah,
to
you
it.
would. It's called highs and happy. Like there's happiness, which is the mean, and then there's highs that people mistake for happiness, and they're chasing highs when happiness is just not is
Yeah.
accepting your reality. That's what it says. Accepting your negative experience, not assuming your negatives are blah, but your negatives are happy. Your highs are high. I don't know. Let's read what he says. This is a total mind fuck. So I'll give you a minute to unpretzel your brain. And maybe read that again. Wanting positive experience is a negative experience. Accepting everything negative experience is a positive experience. It's what the philosopher Alan Watts used to refer to as the backward law, the idea that the more you pursue feeling better all the time, the less satisfied you become, as pursuing something only reinforces the fact that you lack it in the first place. The more you desperately want to be rich, the more poor and unworthy you feel, regardless of how much money you actually make. The more you desperately want to be sexy and desired, the uglier you come to see yourself, regardless of your actual physical appearance. The more you desperately want to be happy and loved, the lonelier and more afraid you become, regardless of those who surround you. The more you want to be spiritually enlightened, the more self-centered and shallow you become in trying to get there. It's like this one time I tripped on acid, and it felt like the more I walked toward a house, the further away the house got from me. And yes, I just used my LSD hallucination to make a philosophical point about happiness. No fucks given. As the existential philosopher Albert Camus
I think so.
said, I'm pretty sure he wasn't on LSD at the time. Quote, you will never be happy if you continue to search for what happiness consists of. You will never live if you are looking for the meaning of life, end quote. Or to put it simply, don't try. Now, I know what you're saying. Mark, this is making my nipples all hard. What about the Camaro I've been saving up for? What about the beach body I've been starving myself for? After all, I paid a lot of money for that ab machine. What about the big house on the lake I've been dreaming of? If I stop giving a fuck about those things, well, I'll never achieve anything. I don't want that to happen, do I? I'm so glad you asked. Ever notice that sometimes when you care less about something, you do better at it? Notice how it's often the person who is the least invested in the success of something that actually ends up achieving it. Notice how sometimes when you stop giving a fuck, everything seems to fall into place. Sorry, something's happening in my house. I think my dog is getting up. Okay, sorry. Pawn's place. What's with that? What's interesting about the backwards law? What's interesting about the backwards law is that it's called backwards for a reason. Not giving a fuck works in reverse. If pursuing the positive is a negative, then pursuing the negative generates the positive. The pain you pursue in the gym results in a better all-around health and energy. The failures in business are what lead to a better understanding of what's necessary to be successful. Being open with your insecurities paradoxically makes you more confident and charismatic around others. The pain of honest confrontation is what generates the greatest trust and respect in your relationships. Suffering through your fears and anxiety is what allows you to build courage and perspective. We should read this again. This is true.
People need to suffer.
Yeah. Seriously, I could keep going, but you get the point. Everything worthwhile in life is won through surmounting the associated negative experiences. Any attempt to escape the negative, to avoid it or quash it or silence it only backfires. The avoidance of suffering is a form of suffering. The avoidance of struggle is a struggle. The denial of failure is a failure. Hiding what is shameful is itself a form of shame. Pain is an inextricable thread in the fabric of life, and to tear it out is not only impossible but destructive. Attempting to tear it out only unravels everything else with it. To try to avoid pain is to give too many fucks about pain. In contrast, if you're able to not give a fuck about the pain, you become unstoppable. In my life, I've given a fuck about many things. I've also not given a fuck about many things. And my dog is like, thank you for reading me to sleep. This is
That's what
relaxing
someone in
her.
chat said. Like, thank God she's reading this. I love it.
Dope. And like the road not taken, it was the fucks not given that made all the difference. Chances are you know someone in your life who, at one time or another, did not give a fuck and then went on to accomplish amazing feats. Perhaps there was a time in your own life when you simply did not give a fuck and excelled to some extraordinary height. For myself, quitting my job in finance after only 6 weeks to start an internet business ranks pretty high up there in my own didn't give a fuck Hall of Fame. Same with deciding to sell most of my possessions and move to South America. Fucks given? None. Just went and did it. Darren said, so if I roll up my car windows with people inside and fart, making them suffer is a good thing? Yes, sir.
Yes.
They will learn
Yes.
never to drive with you again.
It'd be
You
good
got to
ab
teach them
workout.
that.
You'll all get an ab workout from giggling and laughing. It'll work.
First one shot said, Darren, I don't know, but sounds hilarious. Hilarious? You nasty.
How could that go wrong?
I mean, he could pass himself out.
If it's that bad.
These moments
Do
of
girls ever do
non-fuckery are
that
the
to each other?
no, we don't fart, so there's
Never.
that.
No, yeah, no, girls.
First of
Isn't
all,
that the
if we
oldest joke in
do,
the
we do
world?
it in private because we're not fucking heathens.
I know. Didn't we cover that? That was the oldest joke in the world that
Mhm.
Darth lady something farted on her
Yep.
husband's lap or something like.
Yep. No, she didn't fart, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that
She
was the
never
joke.
did.
She did not. Yeah.
People who aren't in constant pain say crap like that about pain.
I'm in constant pain and I still say that shit.
Yeah, we got think you saved me
You
on that
gotta
one. I'm like, these what about front farts? Is that a burp?
Queefs. Remember the
Or
old
do you
grannies?
have a
They learned
vagine?
that one. The grannies learned that word yesterday.
Queff?
Queef? Quiff?
What's a queff? What's a queff? Okay. These moments of non-fuckery are the moments that most define our lives. The major switch in careers, the spontaneous choice to drop out of college and join a rock band, the decision to finally dump that deadbeat boyfriend who you caught wearing your pantyhose a few too many times.
Once is too many.
That's to not give a fuck is to stare down life's most terrifying and difficult challenges and still take action. While not giving a fuck may seem simple on the surface, it's a whole new bag of burritos under the hood. I don't even know what that sentence means, but I don't give a fuck. A bag of burritos sounds awesome, so let's just go with it. Right?
Some people of certain genders have been known to put their groceries under the hood instead of in the trunk.
What?
Yes, it's happened
Some
multiple
people
times.
under certain genders put their groceries in their hood
Yes.
instead of their trunk.
Yes.
God, I almost want to ask, but I'm not gonna. I don't even. Could you say that in like more just plain English?
Women have more than once been caught on video putting their groceries under the hood of the car
That's stupid.
and driving home.
Those are probably Beetles or something with the frunk.
It's still an engine.
No, it's not. The frunk ain't an engine.
If you open the door and there's an engine inside the
Well, then
door,
there's an engine in there.
then there's an engine.
No, I don't believe it. I mean, I do believe it, but I believe dudes have done the same shit if bitches are doing it.
I think the video's grossly ratioed in the ladies' favor. Come on, this is something you guys can hold as a medal. You have the title for having the most groceries under the hood fires.
I don't believe it. What about front part? Oh, I already said that. You're a constant pain. I do love bags of burritos after a good pot needle. I got a bag of burritos. What?
Do you guys have zesty Doritos?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're
I
like
don't think
super cheesy. They're really good. You guys have to have them. But you take those zesty Doritos and you put them in the toaster oven for like 5 minutes at like 200 C, so that cheese starts to get like creamy, and then you eat that Dorito and they're 50 times better.
The cheese in a Dorito will melt?
If you heat it up just enough, yeah, it's crazy good.
What?
Try it, chat. Buy a bag of Doritos,
good.
zesty Doritos, put them in the toaster oven, low heat, like 200, just enough to get the chips warm, and it's so good.
So there's cheese in there, but you don't gotta refrigerate them?
Right.
That sounds like some Velveeta shit. I'm not into it. I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with cheese that don't need to be refrigerated. I'm off the chips now. First one shot said, but ladies have boobs, so they win. Now this is the kind of attitude I like to see in my chat.
What was the best joke I heard? Why did if women weren't made to be in the kitchen, why did God create them with eggs and milk?
Oh, good one.
I was like, I gotta remember that.
Oh, that son of a bitch. That's what happens when Nova sits on his Doritos. They become zesty.
Oh,
beautifully. She done typed that out for you.
And the spicy. We have chips that you guys don't have too. We have like lobster chips and ketchup chips.
Oh, gross as well.
Oh, ketchup used to be my favorite when I was younger.
I love ketchup, but a ketchup chip sounds fucking awful.
It doesn't taste anything like ketchup, and it's really good. I don't know why.
It's false advertising.
It's good.
Let's keep going, because I don't give a fuck about your chips. While not giving a fuck may seem simple on the surface, it's a whole... Oh, wait, I heard that. Most of us struggle throughout our lives by giving too many fucks in situations where fucks do not deserve to be given. We give too many fucks about the rude gas station attendant who gave us our change in nickels. We give too many fucks when a show we liked was canceled on TV. We give too many fucks when our coworkers don't bother asking us about our awesome weekend.
When we lose our
Meanwhile, our
video game.
credit cards are maxed out, our dogs hate us, and Junior is snorting meth in the bathroom. Yet we're getting pissed off about nickels, and everybody loves Raymond.
I hated
Look,
that show.
this is how it works. You're going to die one day. I know that's kind of obvious, but I just wanted to remind you in case you'd forgotten. You and everyone you know are going to be dead soon. And in the short amount of time between here and there, you have a limited amount of fucks to give. Very few, in fact. And if you go around giving a fuck about everything and everyone without conscious thought or choice, well, then you're going to get fucked. There is a subtle art in not giving a fuck. There is a subtle art to not giving a fuck. And though the concept may sound ridiculous and I may sound like an asshole, what I'm talking about here is essentially learning how to focus and prioritize your thoughts effectively, how to pick and choose what matters to you and what does not matter to you based on finely honed personal values. This is incredibly difficult. It takes a lifetime to practice and discipline to achieve, and you will regularly fail. But it is perhaps the most worthy struggle one can undertake in one's life. It is perhaps the only struggle in one's life. Because when you give too many fucks, when you give a fuck about everyone and everything, you will feel that you're perpetually entitled to be comfortable and happy at all times. That everything is supposed to be exactly the fucking way you want it to be. This is a sickness. It will eat you alive. You will see every adversity as an injustice, every challenge as a failure, every inconvenience as a personal slight, every disagreement as a betrayal. You will be confined to your own petty, skull-sized hell, burning with entitlement and bluster, running circles around your very own personal feedback loop from hell, in constant motion, yet arriving nowhere. Bam.
That's right.
That's why I get so mad that they call the people that are fake, that are like fake, the woke. Those people aren't woke, they're sleepwalking.
Right.
It's so frustrating.
I had this happen to me like 2 nights ago. I had my weed drying hanging on these 2 strings that I had tacked into the wall. I had the fire on, and it took me like an hour to get it all just hung up on the strings just right. And I go upstairs and I lay down and I hear ping, thud.
Oh no.
It all fell to the ground. I'm like,
oh no.
Don't get angry. You can't like before I would have lost my shit. I would have like, oh my fucking Jesus, these fucking nails, this fucking pit, like because you just want to vent it out because there's no one here to hear me.
Right.
So I'm like, no, it's no big deal. All I gotta do is put it back up. So I put it all back up, waited again.
There is no one here to hear you, but you're there. You count. Like the person that is you has to suffer through yourself if you decide to put that energy into your environment.
Right, exactly. And I thought I literally had to catch myself.
That's
Like,
dope.
nope, you don't have to curse because I usually fucking Jesus, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
nope, don't even get mad. There's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it. You were upstairs when it fell, the heads of the tacks melted off because I had the fire so hot in here. So there's nothing within my control could have changed it. So like, perfect. I didn't get mad. I just put it out with nails the next time.
Exactly.
Went to sleep,
What are you
happy.
gonna do?
That would have bothered me for hours and hours that I had to pick it all up off the floor again. And
can I share this?
but
No.
not giving a fuck.
Hold on, let me
30 seconds made the rest of my night completely peaceful.
I'm gonna share
I,
this.
like, had a stupid smirk that hey, I didn't get mad.
Right? Because it wouldn't have helped.
Like a job, to catch yourself getting mad or to catch yourself being like, if you can catch yourself being sad, like, wait a minute, I'm sad. I should stop being like that. Stop thinking about whatever I'm thinking about and think about whatever, puppies or something. This show, whatever.
Yeah, don't think about the show. Might frustrate you. I want to draw a picture really quick of a feedback loop and why people don't understand it. I think because it's called a positive feedback loop, that they don't understand why that's a negative thing.
And I love visualization of stuff.
So here's your thing. You put it into the system. It comes out. Here's your feedback loop. Comes out. Comes out. You add. It comes out. Over and over again. This is your feedback loop. It's called a positive feedback loop because you're just giving it the same shit over and over and over again. If you were to put something This is how you fix it. You have to put something negative in. And now Mark Manson just told us reality, your truth, not being fake. No, like, own who the fuck you are, stick that in the system. And then suddenly, instead of getting the same bullshit over and over and over again, what has to come out is something different because you've added something to the system that wasn't there before. So in order to turn this positive into a negative, you have to add something different, to put something different into the system to change. That's
And
a beautiful
realizing
drawing.
and accepting reality is a huge fucking, it sounds weird, but if like you're homeless, accept that you're homeless. And then you're like, well, okay, now I know where I'm at. I have, I can't get any lower than where I'm at. The only way is to go up. So all I have to do is, collect more fucking pallets and start building just work at something to better it. But you have to just accept where you are instead of the world hates me. I'm just going to lay here and die.
Or it's the world's fault, or
it's someone else. Yeah. Just accept reality, accept like when you're lost. It's the number one thing they teach you when you're a hunter or a trapper out in the woods, because you will get panic in the woods and it's the scariest thing you'll ever experience. But the first thing they teach you is stop moving, accept that you're having a panic attack, accept that you're going to take a few minutes to go through it, look at your watch, wait your 10 or 15 minutes, however long your panic attack's going to last you, then reevaluate your situation, because you just got to let that moment go by. But if you never realize that you're having a panic attack, you just react and start running in a direction or, doing crazy shit.
Well, there's our flight, or freeze, but they're or freeze, right? There's a third.
Yeah.
And also, what was I going to say about that? Oh, it's that practice there is the practice of not reacting. Like, don't react. Like, just respond without reacting, mentally react. Don't do a thing. Like, take inventory of what's happening here, and then you'll make a better choice.
Inventory. Take an inventory of your situation. What are the good things? What are the bad things?
And you have to be honest. If you don't tell yourself that I could also die, then guess what? There's no monster to run from. All you have is fucking clouds and butterflies and rainbows and shit to run towards. And so when the monster eats you, you're gonna be like, damn, wasn't prepared for that shit. Yeah. I promise you, if you're running in the middle of the day, you're going to run your speed. If you're running in the middle of the night and something's fucking chasing you, me personally, I'm going to up the speed. So, like, when you're creating scenarios of life or death, always make sure the monster's there. It's in my opinion. We're almost done, I think, with this chapter. It's only 19 pages, so we're on to the...
beautiful. Don't have an emotional response. That's right. Yes. Take an inventory. Just pause the whole world and time for a second and go, all right, this is the situation, and work with it.
Yeah. Morning, Puffer. Good to see you. Hope you're well as well. I hope yous are well.
So what page are we on now?
Oh, I thought you were talking for a second. Okay, the subtle art of not giving a fuck. Then most people, this is kind of... The book itself only has like 250 pages or less. So this is just because the PDF broke it down into bigger font, I think, that it looks so daunting. It's not that giant. The subtle art of not giving a fuck. When most people envision giving no fucks whatsoever, they imagine a kind of serene indifference to everything, a calm that weathers all storms. They imagine and aspire to be a person who is shaken by nothing and caves into no one. There's a name for a person who finds no emotion or meaning in anything: a psychopath. Why you would want to emulate a psychopath, I have no fucking clue. So what does not giving a fuck mean? Let's look at 3 subtleties that should help clarify the matter. Subtlety number 1, not giving a fuck does not mean being indifferent. It means being comfortable with being different. Let's be clear. There's absolutely nothing admirable or confident about indifference. People who are indifferent are lame and scared. They're couch potatoes and internet trolls. I didn't highlight this. I don't know why it's highlighted. Is this Jesus giving me a message? They're couch potatoes and internet trolls. In fact, indifferent people often attempt to be indifferent because in reality, they give way too many fucks. They give a fuck about what everyone thinks of their hair, so they never bother washing or combing it. Whoa. They give a fuck about what everyone thinks of their ideas, so they hide behind sarcasm and self-righteous snark. They're afraid to let anyone get close to them, so they imagine themselves as someone special as some special, unique snowflake who has problems that nobody else could ever understand. Indifferent people are afraid of the world and the repercussions of their own choices. That's why they don't make any meaningful choices. They hide in a gray, emotionless pit of their own making, self-absorbed and self-pitying, perpetually distracting themselves from this unfortunate thing demanding their time and energy called life. Because
Like every
here's this,
teenager.
yeah, because here's a sneaky truth about life. There's no such thing as not giving a fuck. Oh man, it's gonna be a long book, y'all. You must give a fuck about something. It's part of our biology to always care about something and therefore to always give a fuck. The question is then, what do we give a fuck about? What are we choosing to give a fuck about? And how do we not give a fuck about what ultimately does not matter? My mother was recently screwed out of a large chunk of money by a close friend of hers. Had I been indifferent, I would have shrugged my shoulders, sipped my mocha, and downloaded another season of The Wire. Sorry, Mom. But instead, I was indignant. I was pissed off. I said, "No, screw that, Mom. We're going to the lawyer. We're going to lawyer the fuck up and go after this asshole." Why? Because I don't give a fuck. I will ruin this guy's life if I have to. That illustrates the first subtlety of not giving a fuck. When we say, "Damn, watch out, Mark Manson just don't give a fuck," we don't mean that Mark Manson don't care about anything. On the contrary, we mean that Mark Manson doesn't care about adversity in the face of his goals. He doesn't care about pissing someone off to do what he feels is right or important or noble. We mean that Mark Manson is the type of guy who would write about himself in third person just because he thought it was the right fucking thing to do. He just doesn't give a fuck. Oh, I gave him an extra fuck there. I didn't mean to do that. That's important. That is so important.
He was not laughing at all or high when he was writing that, was he?
Oh, he was, I don't know.
He was cracking himself up.
This is what is so admirable. No, not me, dumbass. The overcoming adversity stuff, the willingness to be different, an outcast, a pariah, all for the sake of one's own values, the willingness to stare failure in the face and shove your middle finger back at it. The people who don't give a fuck about adversity or failure or embarrassing themselves or shitting the bed a few times, the people who just laugh and then do what they believe in anyways because they know it's right. They know it's more important than they are, more important than their own feelings and their own pride and their own ego. They say, fuck it. Not everything in life, but rather to everything unimportant in life. They reserve their fucks for what truly matters: friends, family, purpose, burritos, an occasional lawsuit or two. And because of that, because they reserve their fucks for only the big things that matter, people give a fuck about them in return. Because which really makes me feel like this feels like my last year. It's like, damn, everybody hates me. I don't give a fuck because I think this is right. It sucks. It hurts. Like the humanness in me is like, damn, this ego is still here,
Think
motherfucker.
about your fucks as like bullets in your 6-shooter. You only got so many bullets. You got to keep them for when they're important.
Yeah. Because there's another sneaky little truth about life. You can't be an important and life-changing presence for some people without also being a joke and an embarrassment to others. You just can't, because there's no such thing as lack of adversity. It doesn't exist. The old saying goes that no matter where you go, there you are. Well, the same is true for adversity and failure. No matter where you go, there's 500-pound load of shit waiting for you. And that's perfectly fine. The point isn't to get away from the shit. The point is to find the shit you enjoy dealing with.
Right.
Are you guys still with me, chat? I feel like we're getting into the meat of this.
Puffer just said Amber Heard took a shit in the bed. She didn't have too many fucks to give.
No, if she didn't give a fuck, she would have owned it on the stand. Instead, she done blamed her little dog because she's fake.
I know, that's ratchet to blame the dog. Of all things she did, that's probably the worst.
Yeah, that wasn't your dog. That was a full-size human shit. They should have shown us a picture.
I know. That's why do they blur that out? They'll show dead bodies and all kinds of stuff, but that would have been fucking. It's got to come out down the road, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean,
that image has to get leaked out eventually.
No, it would have been out already because it was like, who saves it on their phone? It's someone's shit. You don't even want to look in a toilet and accidentally see someone's turd.
Some rap girl take a picture of her shitting for a bunch of fucking Instagram followers or something?
I don't know.
It's like a black rapper,
No
Black
idea.
China or something.
I
know there was
doubt
something about a female rapper taking a dump on Instagram or on live or.
I mean, good for her.
No,
I mean, I don't care. So who fucking cares what she does?
It's not good for anyone.
I'm not gonna give a fuck bullets in that. I don't give a fuck what she does. More power to you. Capitalism is fucking weird. So is being a attention whore. Trust me, I got a little of that problem. Okay, subtlety number 2. To not give
Yeah.
a fuck about adversity, you must first give a fuck about something more important than adversity.
Right.
Imagine you're at a grocery store and you watch an elderly lady scream at the cashier, berating him for not accepting her 30-cent coupon. Why does this lady give a fuck? It's just 30 cents. I'll tell you why. That lady probably doesn't have anything better to do with her days than to sit at home cutting her coupons. She's old and lonely. Her kids are dickheads and never visit. She hasn't had sex in over 30 years. She can't fart without extreme lower back pain. Her pension is on its last legs, and she's probably going to die in a diaper thinking she's in Candyland. So she snips coupons. That's all she's got. It's her and her damn coupons. It's all she can give a fuck about because there is nothing else to give a fuck about. And so when that pimply-faced 17-year-old cashier refuses to accept one of them, when he defends his cash register's purity the way knights used to defend maiden's virginity, you can bet Granny is going to erupt. 80 years of fucks will rain down all at once like a fiery hailstorm of back in my day when people used to show more respect stories. The problem with people who hand out fucks like ice cream at a goddamn summer camp is that they don't have anything more fuck-worthy to decide to dedicate their fucks to. If you find yourself constantly giving too many fucks about trivial shit that bothers you, your ex-boyfriend's new Facebook picture, how quickly the battery dies in the TV remote, missing out on yet another 2-for-1 sale in hand sanitizer, chances are you don't have much going on in your life to give a legitimate fuck about. And that's your real problem. Not the hand sanitizer, not the TV remote. I once heard an artist say that when a person has no problems, the mind automatically finds a way to invent some. I think that most people, especially educated, pampered, middle class white people, consider life problems are really just. I think that what most people consider life problems are really just side effects of not having anything more important to worry about. It then follows that finding something important and meaningful in your life is perhaps the most productive use of your time and energy. Because if you don't find that meaningful something, your fucks will be given to meaningless and frivolous causes. I didn't get a lot out of this one.
No.
Like, did you? I see what they're saying. Like, you're gonna give a fuck about dumb shit if you're not paying attention, if you don't have anything to actually give a fuck about that matters. Like, find some shit to spend your bullets on that matter. If you don't, you'll find yourself arguing in the grocery store about shit that's so stupid.
Right. You got to find a target. You got to put your energy into something instead
Yeah,
of.
you're
You don't
yeah,
put it into something, it's going to go into the negative folder no matter what. So put it into something other than the negative folder.
right. Granny got fucks to give in return. She has
Give the
all
old lady
day.
30 cents and fucking have a great day. You'll feel like a king for fucking the whole
Right?
day.
How
That
about just
old lady.
take the coupon? At the end of the day, be like, all right, I need to
No,
make my register
no,
right
you
with this
walk in
30
because you
cents.
saved the pimply teenage hero. You saved his day because now he doesn't have to fight with grandma. You saved grandma, so you won over 2 people with 30 cents.
I mean, what if there's just the only 2 people in the store? The 17-year-old could just be like, you know what? I don't fucking care if my drawer doesn't match today. My boss can give a fuck about this. I'm gonna
No,
get
he's
written up.
17. He needs to keep that job because that comes out of his paycheck.
If it
He's
did,
got
there would be no
Minecraft
mistakes.
tokens or something
Unfortunately,
that are
it
worth
usually doesn't.
worth more.
Just take the dang coupon. I'm with you, Puffer. Subtlety number 3. Whether you realize it or not, you are always choosing what to give a fuck about. I was going to say this. Like, it sucks because we were saying, keep your gun in your pocket and careful what you fire your fucks at. No, 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 no. Your fucks are being fired whether you're pulling the trigger or not. So make sure that if everything in your purview is something worth firing at, maybe.
Right.
Let's listen. Or let's not listen. I'll do the reading. You guys do.
We'll
Never
listen
mind.
to that.
Everybody, do you listening? Put your listening ears on. People aren't just born not giving a fuck. In fact, we're born giving way too many fucks. Ever watch a kid cry his eyes out because his hat is wrong shade of blue? Exactly. Fuck that kid. When you're young, everything is new and exciting, and everything seems to matter so much. Therefore, we give tons of fucks. We give a fuck about everything and everyone, about what people are saying about us, about whether the cute boy or girl calls us back or not, about whether our socks match or not, or what color our birthday balloon is. Oh man, maybe this is a sign that when I started not giving a fuck. I haven't worn matching socks in years. I'm not here to give a fuck if you care if my socks match. If you can't, even if you can see them, I don't give a fuck. They're literally there so my shoes don't stink and my feet don't get cold. They don't have to match, it turns out.
Right.
Ay. As we get older, with the benefit of experience and having seen so much time slip by, we begin to notice that most of these sorts of things have little lasting impact on our lives. These people whose opinions we cared about so much before are no longer present in our lives. Rejections that were painful in that moment have actually worked out for the best. We realize how little attention people pay to the superficial details about us, and we choose not to obsess so much over them. Essentially, we become more selective about the fucks we're willing to give. This is something called maturity. It's nice. You should try it sometime. Maturity is what happens when one learns to only give a fuck about what's truly fuckworthy. As Bunk Moreland once told his partner, Detective McNulty, in The Wire, which, fuck you, I still downloaded. That's what you get for giving a fuck when it wasn't your turn to give a fuck. Whew. You guys paying attention? Don't give a fuck when it's not your turn.
That's what
First shot said, "Oh,
that's what
Divinity,
old
that's
mature
not hot.
women
Your
do.
socks gotta match." Oh,
That's when
imagine
mature women
me
cut
carrying
their
it
hair.
like
They all get to that age where they all say "fuck it" and just cut all their hair off because it's easier to manage.
I guess. When we grew you're talking about women?
Yes.
Yeah. I think they cut their hair off because they wanna look like men's because they think that
What
that'll
age
get
is
them
that?
further.
Do you guys like have a set date for that haircut? Like, how do you determine when you're gonna do it? Because you all do it. There's like
No. There is no book for this. There's no set age.
Kat, do you
I
guys have
wonder
an
if your
age?
hair stops growing long at a certain point,
No,
and
because
so
they
you're
keep
just
getting the little short haircuts.
I mean, I have no idea.
Like my grandma, I think she's like 93 or something. She still gets her hair cut or done every week.
You might wanna ask her. You might wanna
It's
ask her
probably
these
after
questions. I don't
menopause.
know.
I think when menopause kicks in, that's when you finally accept that you're old and you're like, fuck it, cut it off. I'm getting too many
I
hot
wish
flashes.
menopause would kick in. I mean, for Christ's sake, I'd rather have hot flashes than my period.
Careful
And
what you
doesn't
wish
mean that
for.
mean you won't have kids anymore? God
I
damn,
think
bring on the
so.
dead eggs.
I think so. But I think it makes you like crazy emotional and all kinds of stuff too.
I was 16, 17 when I shaved the back of my head. Oh my god, I did that too, like, from your ears
Yeah.
down. That was so cool when it was done, and then it had to grow out, and it was the worst. Oh my god. All the hair under your hair is 3 or 4 inches long. It's so
Who
stupid.
started that? Who started that hairstyle
Skaters.
for girls? The
Uh,
skaters?
I don't know who started it. I thought it was a skater thing.
Because it all happened like
Punk.
within like 1 year. Everyone was doing it.
Yeah,
Or
I'm not really
girls anyway.
sure. I'm sure I could probably look it up. Let's get through this though. When we grow older and enter middle age, something else begins to change. Our energy level drops, our identity solidifies. We know who we are and we accept ourselves, including some of the parts we aren't thrilled with. And in a strange way, this is liberating. We no longer need to give a fuck about everything. Life is just what it is. We accept it, warts and all. We realize that we're never going to cure cancer or go to the moon. Hey. Oh wait, personally, I was gonna
Yeah,
say, boy, we
definitely.
ain't doing a flat earth show today. Or feel Jennifer Aniston's tits. That's okay. And that's okay. Life's going on. You hear that first one shot? You're never gonna feel Jennifer Aniston tits. But life will go on, and that's okay.
Who would want to now? She's
So
like 50.
you still would want to. Fuck out of here. You wanted to feel Farron's tits. If you don't wanna see Jennifer Aniston's tits, I
Oh,
gotta fire you in this
I
moment. Don't you
value my
know
hands.
me. Get the
Thank
fuck
you.
out of here. Now, we reserve our ever dwindling fucks for the most truly fuckworthy parts of our lives, our families, our best friends, our golf swing, and to our astonishment, this is enough. This simplification actually makes us really fucking happy on a constant basis, and we start to think maybe that crazy alcoholic Bukowski was onto something. Don't try. So, Mark, what the fuck is the point of this book anyway? This book will help you think a little bit more clearly about what you're choosing to find important in life and what you're choosing to find unimportant. I believe that today we're facing a psychological epidemic, one in which people no longer realize it's okay for things to suck sometimes. I know that sounds intellectually lazy on the surface, but I promise you, it's a life or death sort of issue. Because when we believe that it's not okay for things to suck sometimes, we unconsciously start blaming ourselves. We start to feel as though something is inherently wrong with us, which drives us to all sorts of overcompensation, like buying 40 pairs of shoes or drowning Xanax with a vodka chaser on a Tuesday night, or shooting up a bus full of kids. I was going to say the pot needles, but that also. This belief that it's not okay to be inadequate sometimes is a source of the growing feedback loop from hell that is coming to dominate our culture. The idea of not giving a fuck is a simple way to reorientate our expectations for life and choosing what is important and what is not. Developing this ability leads to something I like to think of as a kind of practical enlightenment. No, not the airy fairy essential eternal bliss, end of all suffering, bullshitty kind of enlightenment. On the contrary, I see practical enlightenment as becoming comfortable with the idea that some suffering is always inevitable, that no matter what you do, life is comprised of failures, loss, regrets, and even death. Because once you become comfortable with all the shit life throws at you, and it will throw a lot of shit, trust me, you become invincible in a sort of low level spiritual way. After all, the only way to overcome pain is to first learn how to bear it. This book doesn't give a fuck about alleviating your problems or your pain. And that is precisely why you will know it's being honest. This book is not some guide to greatness. It couldn't be, because greatness is merely an illusion in our minds, a made up destination that we obligate ourselves to pursue, our own psychological Atlantis. Instead, this book will turn your brain into a tool, your trauma into power, and your problems into slightly better problems. That is real progress. Think of it as a guide to suffering and how to do it better, more meaningfully, with more compassion and more humility. It's a book about moving lightly despite your heavy burdens, resting easier with your greatest fears, laughing at your tears as you cry them. This book will not teach you how to gain or achieve, but rather how to lose and let go. It will teach you to take inventory of your life and scrub out all but the most important items. It will teach you to close your eyes and trust that you can fall backwards and still be okay. It will teach you to give fewer fucks. It will teach you not try. Chapter 2, we will begin next week. It's going to be called I just totally missed it and I don't know how to get back. Something about happiness. Here it is.
There,
Uh,
happiness is a problem. Chapter 2.
happiness is a problem. I don't think we
Yeah,
understand
they used to take
happiness.
kids like in the inner cities, and they take them out to the country and take them to a farm and show them how like the kids in the country lived. And then all those kids would go back home reporting that they were happier because they didn't want to shovel shit, and they knew that that was what, taking out the garbage didn't seem so bad when these kids were shoveling out stalls.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Like, you think you have it bad because you don't know what bad is, but
Right.
you also think a lot of people think that they shouldn't have any bad, and that's stupid too.
Right, exactly. You appreciate it more if you're not, always on a high.
Yeah. Well, there is no if there's no bad, then there's no good either.
Right.
It just is. It's just existence. Puffer, my buddy's sibling Revelry lives in your state. Yeah, he's in the. I don't know. I've met him. Nice guy. Puffer and Paul is gonna get married one day, and I'm just gonna work on it subtly.
I got canceled for something again. I don't know what though.
You got canceled for real? For real?
I think inappropriate. Cancel me again.
Inappropriate canceling? Share daughter. Here's my profile pictures. My daddy. Talk to him. Oh, that's Trump. Nova, how many times do I have to cancel your ass? Whoa, Nova. Wait, what did you say?
I don't know.
HRT is a thing. I don't know. Cute short styles. They're talking about short hair. Is this when we're talking about old lady hair?
Oh, could be. Like the Golden Girls. Do you remember that show? That show still stands the test of time. It's still hilarious today.
Is that
Sometimes
your
it's even
guilty
funnier.
pleasure?
What's that?
I said, is that your guilty pleasure?
One of them for sure. It's
My
hilarious.
guilty
They pulled
pleasure
it off
is
of
this.
Netflix because one of the girls did she put it like a mud facial on, and they said she was doing blackface, so they pulled it off of Netflix.
Oh, damn.
But she wasn't doing blackface.
Netflix is sensitive. They can't be putting that shit next to cuties.
No. Hey, Sparky's here.
Hey, Sparky. Did mention someone's tips. I said, whoa. No, the book mentioned someone's tits. It was, who was it again? Aniston, the one who killed everyone from Friends. I can't believe a man would talk about titties.
Men talk about everything. Women talk about worse. You guys just don't talk about it publicly.
It's funny because we are pretty like, I don't know, worse. I don't think worse is correct. But that little secret about how women are pretty raunchy also is
Totally true.
totally true. The other secret that people don't talk about that is totally true is that men are drama whores almost as bad as women are. And
Very
that doesn't
true.
get talked about a lot.
Very true. They just changed the drama to disrespect or something. You
Yeah,
disrespected me.
that or just in general, they're like, "Hey, oh my god, did you hear what Jim said about Joe? Oh my lord, do you see what Beautifully's wearing today? Jesus Christ, did you see Puffer's color?" I'm like, "Dude, quit being a bitch." But it
We
sucks
act,
because those are bitch things, and we call them bitch things, and they're related to women, but the truth is
yes.
they're not. They're just fuck like, I don't know what to call them. They're everyone things, but women maybe do it more often or more
Yeah.
outwardly. I think that's it. I think we do it in public and dudes do it behind the scenes, so we don't assume that y'all are dramatic.
Yes. Well, we used to, like, my old job, we'd start rumors just to see how long it would take to go through the whole plant and come back around and see how much it changed. You'd be like, oh, Nova got arrested for drunk driving, and it would start going down the line. And by the end of it, I was a break and enter, and I was like doing 3 years, and I had 2 days to turn myself in. Like, and we just laugh our head off, like, to see how far it would change and how wide it would change by the time we get it back.
That's actually a great idea to do at your work because then if any rumors ever come around, you'd be like, dude, obviously, we don't even have to worry about that.
Right.
It's probably just the grapevine.
Yeah, like just make up some stupid rumor that, oh, I was late because I shit myself in the car. And everyone will believe it because you'd never tell them if it wasn't true. But then just see how long it takes to come back around to you. But then you got to be able to deal with that shame because everyone's going to believe it's true.
There's no shame in something that didn't happen.
That's right.
Who gives a fuck?
Exactly. Exactly.
I do find this is a big lesson. Like, stop giving a fuck. Be yourself. This is, I hate to bring, let me, who else do I have? I don't have a great example, but there have been people on the internet who I've been like, dude, you're actually funnier when you're drunk. People like this. Just be yourself. I know you think this is a white trash way to behave. I know you judge people constantly for acting this way, but it's real and it's honest, and you will go further to if you are who you are. And they
Right.
just couldn't grasp that. And
No,
yeah,
because
they're still
it has
rebranding.
to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, that uncomfortableness. They don't want to sit in that. That's
If you're
good
playing
feeling
a
gone.
character, you're not uncomfortable because you're playing a character. It's just whatever the character is, But when you have to be you, now you have to sit and be uncomfortable. And people can't handle it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm not proud to, Puffer said, I'm not proud to be associated with women, damn cunts. Beautifully said, bitches is bitches, and I can't stand bitches. And Vicky said, bitches get stitches. So if there's
I
any
worked
bitches in the chat, just
when I
watch out.
used to be a lifeguard, so I was one of the few male lifeguards. So, like, working with all those women, they would fight with each other, and they'd all try to get me on their side, who didn't give a fuck about what their stories were. I would just nod and smile, and they would, whatever it was, as long as they had someone that would agree with them, their day would just, they'd forget about it. Oh, she's a bitch. Yeah, sure she is. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, she's a bitch. Yes, she is. And they would just go away and be happy because somebody agreed with them.
Yeah. That's how everyone is. That's how dudes are too.
It's hilarious.
Oh, it's frustrating.
It is frustrating, but
if it weren't for vaginas and boobs, I'd totally be gay. So you love dick?
yeah, that's a
but you just
oh,
no stitches. Just let that bitch bleed out. Oh, that's funny.
Chat's violent today.
I love it. No, they don't give any fucks about what is appropriate to say on the internet. They're just being themselves, and they got to get further.
Exactly.
When I first started my channel, like I got to like 100 subs and 1,000 subs in a month or something like that. And then from 1,000 to 5,000 was like another, I don't know, 3 months or something like that. People be like, how many subs do you have? What is this? What is that? And I'll be like, I don't know. I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. I don't have any of like the algorithm shits. I don't look. But it was successful without looking. It seemed like the people who were obsessed about looking at their numbers weren't going anywhere.
Exactly, because that's all they
like,
focused
you know
on.
what? You need to not give a fuck because It's not helping.
Just be you. It's so
And
much
if
easier. Life is so much easier if you don't pretend to be this. Oh, I have a 5-bedroom house and I have a nice car. I have to, I have to dress up every day and put a certain time. No, just you're
well,
poor. Just accept.
like the book started out, confidence is quiet. I don't have to convince you that I have money. I don't give a fuck if you think I'm rich or poor.
Right.
I can eat. You know, like if you have to convince people constantly have to convince people that you are a thing, then you're
Then
probably
you
not
are
the
not
thing.
that thing.
Yeah.
Then you are not that thing.
Yeah. You tell people how scary and powerful you are, like, oh, okay.
I know. I never got that. Like everyone who would say, "Oh, I know, I know powerful people." Like that means you don't.
Yeah. I think we're done with this. Here's
So what are you
9,
not
but
gonna give a fuck about
what am I
today?
not gonna talk about?
Not gonna give a fuck about today. What's your new?
Oh. Um, that's a good question. What today am I not gonna give a fuck about? So I've been practicing this for a while. I try to make this my everyday to not give a fuck, but
One thing. It's easy. One thing a day, not to give a fuck about. Just to start there.
well, what I was trying to say is that I have been pretty decent about not giving a fuck, but there have to be something that what's coming up? What is coming up soon? I guess I don't give a fuck about what Thursday night's show is about. That's my new not give because I kind of do. Like I kind of do a lot. So I'm
You're
going to
gonna
try
let
to
it.
not.
Yeah. See, you're gonna have a little stress off your shoulders.
No, what I'm going to do is over prepare so I'm going to give extra fucks. That's actually what's going to happen. I need to reread this chapter before I start on that.
Yes. Just try.
Well,
Channel
that's
your
the
inner
thing.
Nova and not give a fuck.
What I need to not give a fuck is the outcome of the video. Because if I do try and I do put my effort in and it's not good, I did try. And you know what I mean? Like I need to not give a fuck if other people are as happy about it as I am. That's where I need to start not
Right.
giving a
What
fuck.
you made at the time is what you made at the time. So if you go
Yeah.
2 years down the road and look back and go, "Oh, that was so bad," we go, you got to remember that was 2 years down the road and how much you've learned since then. So it's
Yeah, that's a good Puffer said, I'm
you got to
not
build a
going to
foundation.
give a fuck about the whale upstairs. Hard task. I can try.
Oh no, you don't have a neighbor upstairs with heels.
No, she has a whale, a fatty one. First, One Shot said, Divinity socks are going to bother me all day. Next, she'll say her bra and panties don't match either. Panties, could you give me a definition on that? I'm not familiar.
I think someone's fishing.
Oh, I'll show him my mismatched socks. That's about all I could get, and I promise you're gonna like them. I'm gonna say
What is
these
it? All right,
9.
for the mismatched socks people, what? So if you buy a pack of socks, so you get like 3 in a pack, and it'd be like a red, a blue, and a whatever stripe.
Mhm,
And if you wear them and they're underneath your shoes, what
mhm.
does it matter if they're mismatched or not? If you get in an accident, is that the hospital staff's going to see you have mismatched socks? Is that the problem?
Yeah.
What is it? What's
First
the problem?
shot, that's your that
Or
question's
will
for
it
you,
cause the
buddy.
accident? Is that the problem? Will the mismatched socks cause the accident? Because the world's so
I
bad?
think it makes people feel uncomfortable, like, "Oh my god, don't match your socks?" Like, "No, I just don't give a fuck about putting them together before I put them in my drawer, I got other shit to do." And then it turns out I don't give a fuck when I stick them on my feet, and you not caring actually makes me give less fucks. Or you caring makes me give less fuck. Oh, now you care? Well, now I go to put
Right.
on matchy socks,
Exactly.
I'm
I'm going to
finna
troll
change
you. I'm
that
going to
bitch.
troll people with my mismatched socks or my.
I don't know about I just can't I need first One Shot to explain.
It's like I used to have this boss who was OCD, and we had to put like bungees over the chainsaws to like secure them in the back of the truck from sliding around. And he needed a specific color on each one, or he couldn't drive the truck. So I'd tell him I did everything perfect. We'd be going down the road, and I'd be like, "Oh, I used the blue one instead of the red one." He'd pull over and check, even though it was perfectly fine. He had to pull over to double check, or he couldn't keep driving.
Hmm.
You got to stop giving a fuck.
Well, what were the straps for?
They're just little bungee cords just to hold the chainsaws from sliding back and forth in the bed of the truck. So they meant nothing.
Oh, are you and
They
you're
could have been
positive they
any
meant
color,
nothing?
anything, right? They were all the same length, so it didn't matter. But
Yeah, but
in
maybe
his
their
drawing,
color identified the strength of it.
nope, they were all identical. They were just a package of 3, all the same.
Oh, okay.
They
He
just
just had
had to be
OCD.
in his.
OCD is a real thing, though.
Like,
Like,
and
that's
he
different.
knows. He told me, like, when he first hired me, he's like, "I have OCD, so I'm gonna be like retarded with like certain things." I'm like, "No problem." I just laugh at him the whole time, so he liked it.
I mean, I can appreciate that. I think that's different. If you have OCD, I don't know if this book's gonna be for you.
Like the fact that I would joke around with him about it and like fuck with him, he appreciated it because he was so self conscious of it that he
Yeah.
knew I didn't care.
Yeah.
So he kind of like after the first time anyway. The first time he didn't find it funny, but then when I did it more, then he started to giggle.
Yeah, that is nice. Okay, let's read 9 sad signs that you're trying too hard.
Selfies in public. That's one.
1, you're always agreeable. Being
Oh,
agreeable isn't the positive thing that it seems like. Sometimes you might have a boss. Okay, being agreeable. We don't really have to understand them. Number 2, you post on social media relentlessly. Social media is basically a showcase of people trying too hard.
right.
Yep. Number 3, you always need external validation. The need for constant praise and external validation typically comes from low self-esteem.
Which is the posting on social media.
Yeah.
Need those likes and hearts.
You don't honestly present yourself. Are you honest about who you are, or do you feel like you need to make things up to seem valued? You might be a fucking incel. You use money to demonstrate your worth. This
Right.
one.
I have my Ferraris outside parked in the woods, right? My 5-bedroom cabin. Super rich.
So super rich.
Can't show you any of it because my camera won't turn around. So just believe me, it's there.
Yeah. My other cameras is down right now. You treat everything as a competition. One-upsmanship. And you're really, really good at it.
I kind of do that though. I do.
You do?
I do that one. Yep.
Yeah, some of these I think everyone's
But
gonna.
I'm on like that's
Brutal.
my background. I was an athlete that competed at that was just my personality was to compete at everything.
Oh, you have an excuse already for that one? Good.
Yep. Yeah.
You do outlandish things for the attention.
I definitely used to.
I mean, if anyone's paying attention, like, holy shit, these are all me. These are people that give too many fucks. They try too fucking hard. They are tryhards. This is not what you're aiming for. You're coming in at the end of this. These are not
I definitely
good
used to be
things.
this person.
Fix this shit about yourself. Number 8, you are regularly envious of other people. Or how about you put people down because you think they try to be perfect because you can't understand that they're comfortable with their imperfections. I hate to say incel twice in 5 minutes, but you a fucking incel. Okay. You won't ask for help even if you need it. Uh-oh.
I'm guilty of that one.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. People who try too hard are often stubborn, and dealing with stubborn people is always a challenge because they typically have a difficult time compromising and working with a group if they aren't the ones in charge. No one wants to deal with
That's not me.
that if they don't have to. Person who's trying too hard to be controlling or set in their ways. So yours isn't like this then?
No, that's different than the headline is.
The explanation is not.
But I like to work in groups. I don't have to be a leader. Definitely.
And you'd ask for help if you were in a group setting where you were falling
But
behind on your task?
if I needed someone to help me put a roof on my cabin, I'd do it all by myself. I couldn't ask for help. I'd be too fucking stubborn to admit I needed help.
Well, while you're saying that, does that make you feel silly?
Yes. Oh, I totally know it's like OCD.
Do you work on that? Do you ask for help even when you don't necessarily mean it to try and like
I do now. I never
Yeah.
used to.
That's
but
a
I
good thing to
definitely do.
practice. Like
It's
figure out
hard.
your weaknesses and then
It's
go out of
so
your way
hard.
to like live in them for a minute and realize they
It's like
won't
how
fucking
men
kill
can't
you.
ask for directions when they're driving. They have to like keep driving around for 2 hours until they find it. It's something crazy in your brain that makes you like, if I ask for help,
I
I'm
got
less.
it. I'll get it. Yeah. The bottom line. Do these reasons seem harsh to you? They might. They seem harsh because few people are willing to be honest with people who try too hard. We did it, Nova. We made it all the way to the end of this book.
Boom.
Yeah, I
Another
can't
one.
believe it. Yeah, and it's only an hour and a half. I feel like I don't know how long all the rest of the chapters are. I don't know if this is just, a nice simple intro, but I think on Tuesdays, we will do this. Does that sound
Yeah, that works for me.
all right?
Because we take little
Chat,
breaks in between like paragraphs and stuff, and so it works. Chat has questions.
yeah, hopefully they're okay with this.
They
This
mentioned they
does
like
sound fun.
listen to you read it. I know that.
Well, I don't know if I read too slow, too fast, any of the things. I try to understand it as I'm reading it, so I'm gonna repeat a sentence or two as we go. Hopefully,
I
again.
think I enjoy reading along with you. Like, so I'm as you're scrolling through, I'm reading with you. So I'm doing the same. I'm listening and reading. So it's like a good
Works out.
Yeah.
Cadence. First one shot said, Nova, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.
That's right.
Did you watch Elon on Rogan the other day?
Most of it. I don't know if I got all of it. I did watch most of it.
Was it good?
It was all right. There was little funny parts here and there, but nothing groundbreaking. They like anchovies and pineapple on pizza.
Gross. I don't mind pineapple, but I think anchovies are disgusting.
Yeah, I've never tried the anchovies. Not my thing, I don't think. Joe also eats sardines. He says he loves sardines. I'm like, no, thank you. I know a lot of people here do. Like my old boss used to just sit there and eat 2 cans of sardines for lunch and drink. I'm like, what? That's how? I don't get it.
Are they really strong or flexible or anything special?
They stink so bad.
Ew.
Like, so bad.
I meant the people. Are they getting a benefit from these fish?
They must. It must be. I don't know. He doesn't like it. Never smelled his BO, but he used to fucking wear deodorant. So I just can't imagine.
No, I didn't. I meant like, are the people strong? Are they getting a benefit from the eating of
sardines? I assume so. I think they're healthy.
You couldn't tell. They weren't like really strong or extra flexible, or he could jump really high, or he's super smart, remembered shit.
Well, my boss was 6'10" and he used to climb trees. So he was super fit.
6'10"
and a big dude.
And a tree climber.
And a tree climber, yeah.
Holy crap. He is a tree.
Right? So we'd show up to jobs like, can you climb the trees? Like, no, I can get this from the pole on the ground. Like, it was hilarious to watch.
Okay, so we're gonna end. My headache didn't go away, y'all. It's just stuck in my skull. It's like right behind my eyes now. Yeah, I'm gonna take some leave. And I will see you guys tomorrow. No, I will see you guys Thursday night. I will be back. I don't know if I will be by myself. I don't know if I will have a co-host. I do know that the show is going to be called Off the Record. And I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. Totally off the record. And I'm going to take Thursdays to just do me. So it's nighttime. So there's plenty of other shit going on the internet when I'll be doing that. I don't have to worry about if it's interesting. Oh, tomorrow night there's a debate. I may join Cool Frog to watch that. I don't really care a lot, but I don't know. We'll see. So that's coming up this week. What do you got going on? I can't hear you. Is it me? Can y'all hear him? Is it me? Lay down and put a warm compress on your eyes. Well, somebody put the hex on Nova or I'm talking over him. He muted. Let's see. You can hear me? I could read your lips right there. Oh, my Lanta, we're going to get really better. Do you know sign language? All right, guys. We'll see you. We'll be back with Nova on Monday morning. Take it easy.